Yeah, but it was a bit anticlimactic actually, just how simple it was near the end. But I'm glad I got it done because I finally found this missing piece of the blade. This was for the blade of Endless Pass. I had to go back to level 5 to hit a secret switch. I don't know how I missed it because generally I'm always stealthed and running everywhere, so I don't know how I missed that, but at least I got it now, so I'm now taking it to
Your will, Watcher.
totally forget what his name is. Dunstan, and I believe that he should craft it for me. So he turns from the forge, setting his hammer on the work table. Hey, you need something? Show him the piece of the blade of Endless Path. I found all the pieces of this ancient sword. You think you repair it? Aye, and that would be a privilege too. Not often do you get to lay eyes on such fine craftsmanship. He runs a calloused finger along the edge of one of the shards. This blade will take some time, but I guarantee it'll be worth it. How long? Finest work I've ever done, if I say so much. It's only a shame I can't take all the credit for it. Something else on your mind? Nope. Blade of Endless Path. Two-handed sword. Scars cover Wenan's arms and he sports a purpling eye, but the grin on his face is nothing short of triumphant. Finally, we will see what those animasters and their lackeys in their crucible keep are really up to. It's only a matter of time. Are you part of the riots? Uniting the city against the knights, of course. They made their intentions clear when their pet animaster assisted the Duke. Lots of blood in the streets. Shame to lose so many good men and women, but we had to act. Not really.
How may I help?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Can't get a good shot.
I thought it was the guy way up there, but apparently not. That should be that bounty done. A level as well. What's that bird in his three curse quacksilver, robbing me of my life and my vengeance? The only thing I was looking forward to more than Triple tongue lashes had cracked its course. It's still a matter of this other hunger. You'll do nicely, I think. I have another hunger for me. What did I do?
Breathe.
I don't know what I did, but I must have done something. Okay. A soul prowls within the blood's stone like a caged stickler. It's filled with a fierce, restless energy. Here's you. You see an image on your mind of a woman in heavy leather armour bearing twin daggers. Next to her is a man, young and handsome, who calls her Wenan. The vision shifts to a windswept plain next to a lake. 50 men and women in matching leathers lay dead, their bodies contorted and deformed by some sinister sorcerer. Wenan falls among them, her body collapsing next to a young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. Dalton. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering a step over the corpses. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed on Wenan. He reaches out to her, and what little life remained in her body departs. When he takes the amulet from around her neck, you feel her anguished soul trapped within it. With a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. What do you want? You see an image of an amulet shattering and the soul inside rising and dissipating among the stars. Okay. The elderly man paces back and forth, taking short hobble steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are the dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down two at a time. You share quite a victory, you and I. Talking to. The man looks up and you start to, oh, by the flame. For just a moment I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the Northwatch Rangers, trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Tell me about the memories. Been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout the Deerwood Den. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepened. That was until we faced Helig of Thein. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled towards the Felian republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools, seasons as we were not prepared for the foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat, not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, my Rona, they were all dead. Who's Rona? A friend, my comrade in arms, and my love. We planned to adventure together until we grew old enough to settle down and enjoy our fortunes. Young as we were, we couldn't imagine anything would tear us apart. You know what it is to cling to hope, don't you? You wouldn't give up. I can feel it. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her. A voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams. At night I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it damn near cost me my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonising notion that my love is somehow down there, beyond my help. I'm going to be benevolent. Helen kept her soul trapped in an amulet for decades. It's time to set her free. No, please. After searching for her for so long, he gazes at the amulet. Just to have her close to me, to visit her in my dreams, that would be enough. Enough for you, but what about her? If you keep her trapped in the amulet, seeking comfort, best for a wizard. What's the best one? Yeah, I would put him down. Yeah, no better than the wizard. Resolve is a good one. It says it a little bit more comforting. I'll go with resolve then. It's a little bit more comforting. You're right. Please let me do it. He draws a club with a trembling hand and crushes the amulet. As the gem cracks, you feel an essence rush from it. Old man looks at the shattered gemstone. Thank you for showing me reason. Perhaps you'll wait for me in the next life. He looks at his hand shaking by the flame. You won't have to wait long. Please, take this. It's from an old adventuring days. I think it's time I finally let it go. Moderate positive. Voice from the past. There you go, Bledha. Like this guy eventually.
Sure. Let's go!
What bear? Get that one then. Should be anyway. Yep. Quack. Alright, so it's Yes. Now somebody got confused though. Certainly with all my attacks. Balls. Don't need it now, but.
Aye?
Marking that guy.
Lava will be on.
Nice.
Sure.
Greetings.
Greetings. So, Dame of Grummett won't be a problem. Well done. You've outdone the Ducal Palace. Mind that that's not terribly difficult. Anyway, here's your pay. Glassdeal. One nasty troll's head for a nasty little alchemist. I'll let him know the job's done. In the meantime, here's your bounty. And I've got... I'm here for the bounty on Roscoe. You may have averted another war of the Black Trees. Here's a coin and Throvins. Seems like crossing the Knight's tend to lead to a bad end. They pay well enough anyway. Here you are. And we've got 2 other levels.
Good day, stranger.
Claimed. Oh, there's more. More. There's some ranger causing trouble out in the wilds. Then there's Galen Dalgod, Slayer. Slaver, not exactly popular around here. Then there's some kind of cult, looks like. And then there's one I haven't seen in a while, Captain Murimai, the pirate. I'll go after the ranger. The ranger from Man has been waging a one-woman campaign of terror against travellers passing through a wooden plains. Survivors report that she feeds her victim to the pack of wild animals that travel with her. A lot of folks would be glad to hear she's been dealt with. Tell me about Galen Dalgard, the Slayer. He and his friends have been spotted in Mogwai Bridge. None of the local authorities are willing to touch him because he's got powerful connections back in the Deer. But some nameless soul is willing to put the coin down to see Galen breathes his last. Says it's personal. What about the cult? I'm not sure what to make of this one. Something about a murderous cult of druids led by Mingpua. The creature goes by Devwin, and it looks like she and her followers have set up a cave in the Northwold, and the pirate mainly goes after Felerian sailors, Felerian vessels, and his crew just made Lamval and Arklov's compass. Not sure how long he's planning on staying, but this is your chance to take him down.
Yeah.
Ready, Watcher.
Nice. Yep. Almost simpler. Cool.
Sure.
Would be good, but not anymore. That's sweet. Oh. Gonna be very much simple now. Spam that on this person. Okay, give that a go.
Many blessings, traveler.
Yeah, the elf holds a chipped wooden pipe. The sweet smoke wafting from the bowl makes you dizzy. Welcome. I got herbs and potions for sale. Looking for something to ease your travels or something to make them more interesting. When she grins, you see her tooth and gums are stained brown. White leaf. Nice way to spend an afternoon and the following night and most of the next day. Alright, so she's drugged.
Builder's wisdom to you.
Though his eyes are closed and his posture still, the man before you keeps his head aimed at you, as if carefully following your movements. May the time in the Golden Grove be enriching. And hail to you, Autumn Orland. The man says with a bow to Haverius. Haverius' eyes widens in surprise and has a one good ear. Stands on end. How of errand did you? The man's eye remained closed, and he says with a smile, tranquility begets a receptive mind. He opens his eyes, revealing brown irises clouded with the beginning of cataracts. Now, how would he know? How would he know what cataracts is? Come on. With my eyes open, I see your birth form, but when I look inward, and with this he closes his eyes again, I see the autumn Stelgar. Let Havarius talk. I don't know how you can sense it, but you're right about me being the Stelgar. What do you know about the beast? Why was I ostracized just for being able to assume its form? Is there a cure? Tamrwn smiles, his eyes remain closed. I know the beast is often sent by Galawain as a sort of trial. Many Amberfath are tested by the autumn Stelgar. Those beasts bested and consumed by the beast have their soul torn from their bodies and lost for all time. So my tribesmen were right. Havarius looks crestfallen, his posture slumps. His gaze drops to the ground. Are you saying I have such a terrible power? This must be some sort of... If your spirit form were a bee, would you be mystically compared to make honey? Were it a bird, would you spend all day making nest? Tamrwn opens his eyes once more and looks Havarius up and down, before winching and shutting his eyes once more. I am saying this is what the animal your form resembles is known to do. It seems you are eager to leap to your own conclusions. I would not normally advise one to speak with the Circle of Blood Sands, but given your circumstances, the elf Arthwn may prove insightful. He turns and, with his eyes still closed, points to the northwest. Read the stone slabs carved by the Druids of the Blood Sands. There are answers to be found, as well as many questions, but you must explore them for yourself. What exactly is written? Much of it is utter rubbish on the insistent need for sacrifice. A calm countenance wears as he says his last word with spit and a hiss. But amongst the dogma are a few bits of wisdom on Galawain. Your friend will understand. Is there any more you can tell us? Only to trust Galawain and trust in well. Both have blessed you in their own difficult ways. I appreciate the attempt to lift my spirits, but that doesn't really help. Havarius sighs and digs his ear stump with his index finger. But he has a point. I shall trust Whale has something to show me in the blood sands. Investigate the stone tap. An elf with placid green eyes nods in greeting. Welcome to the Golden Grove.
Hail, Estramor.
Do you seek the wisdom of our herbalist or simply to bask in all weatherless glory? Who leads your order? High of 8 Eora leads us. She sometimes journeys to Elsmorn to renew her strength. However, she is there now with some of her closest followers. In fact, Eora is a mighty elm among us. She's lived for generations. There are none who understand the world as well as she, and we are fortunate to have their wisdom to answer our questions. I'd like to know more. Her eyes brighten. Why? You must meet her for yourself. She is wise and kind, and she has led our old order from the beginning. Yet she walks amongst us and gives freely of herself. She turns her gaze to the great twisting elms. This is what so many of us cherish about her. She is present among us in a way that the gods never are. Tell me about the grove. We are the Ovates, druid, philosophers and students of nature. We gather here to share our knowledge and celebration. She gestures to another elven woman standing near the entrance to the grove. Many travellers come to us for policies and remedies. And Bledha understands the cure and poisons of nature like no other. What do you believe? We believe that knowledge is found in the earnest exploration of the natural world. She tilts her head. We do not, as one have said, oppose the gods. We simply believe that we have found a brighter, more peaceful path than devotion. Cool. Alright. You have stayed
true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Eora ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now.
I really want to know what this wheel is. There's a lot of wheel.
We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
How would we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
How would you get Eora to move to Oneasis?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
A lanky hunker grooms his stubble, a patch fuzz of blonde hair, while listening attentively to a young elven woman. She whispers in his reddened ears and giggles. With his head still lowered, he flashes a wide smile in return. The hunter notices you. He clears his throat and straightens his back, adopting an air of dignity. I've been expecting you. My tribesmen have told me that you're to speak the truth about Frumer's exile. He combs his sparse stubble, darting a glance to the elven woman. Well, Arthwn doesn't hide from the truth. Ask, and I'll answer. What happened? Arthwn looks down and licks his lips. Firm. He pushes the blonde bristle away from the edges of his mouth. Every tribe knows his prowess, a hunter of great name. But this time, he fell behind. He spotted the giant Stelgar on the Sentinel's Ridge above the waterfall of the Northweald. I was stalking for prey. Elvin lightly shakes his head. Bjorn wanted us to split. He'd lure the beast to the river, and I'd flank it. The hunter scratches his flushed earlobe, but the beast didn't come down to the riverbank, so we tried to sucker it on the ridge. I climbed faster, and there it was, ready to pounce on me. Arthwn thrust his fist forward. I pierced fresh, mid-air, rolled over, and stabbed it again, and again. And it was dead. The hunter pushes his mustache back and looks up. Fium couldn't believe he didn't earn the kill, not even a cut. He said he'd not return with the shame of losing to a twice-split arrow. Ergith sighs. I pleaded, but he was a keeper of the stone. He'd not listen, and now he's exiled. Who knows where? Tell me about your tribe. You're the youngest of the tribe in Elgrafan. Eowyn hesitates for a moment, scratching his beard, and then spreads his long legs apart. But we're not weak. The other tribes have their history, and now we, the twice-split arrows, are making our own. He puffs his chest and pounds it with a fist. We're true Garafathans, true hunters. I've proven our worth. His patches of golden stubbles sparkle alongside a glowing smile. It was me, not Fium, who killed the giant Stelgar. Ooh.
Tread carefully, Estramore.
A grizzled old elf, his hair braided and dyed, stands on one end of the hall. His arms and chest are cross-hatched with the pale seams of scars. His crooked smile looks like another. It's not many Estramorn who are permitted into our sacred city. The Wef must be feeling especially soft today. Kadir pays no attention to the elf and instead has locked eyes with the Stelgar in front of him. He whispers to you. Do you think you mind if I pet his Stelgar? Sagari lowers her head. Remember how well that worked out the last time? Come to hear your future at Telavon. His smile widens, exposing a row of yellowed cropped teeth, or to make your own at the Bloodstands. What's Bloodstands? An ancient place of sacrifice. He laces his fingers together. In a cave by the great elms themselves. Reston and his druids have been an integral part of Glafathan society for generations. No matter what some of the other tribes might say, Elgafan has held its own against the Estramorn before some of us still understood the power of sacrifice. He gives you a praising eye. Does the thought make you uncomfortable? It should. It's what kept our society alive for so long. Across his arms, something else. Seemed fond of us, Estermorn. His hunched shoulders straightened. I fought in the broken stone, war and the war of black trees. I saw my brethren cut down, defending the place of the builders, and I shed blood alongside Galangrick himself. He coughs. Now the Estermorn seem to think that they will find a cure for this empty children among our sacred sites, or worse, that they will find sanctuary in our lands. His gaze darkens, and I've seen what happens when they set their sights on Grafathan soil. Well, he does have a point, Avarius mutters under his breath. You learn not to trust your neighbours when you defile their lands habitually for several generations. Habitually. Avarius folds his arms and shrugs. He's got all the reason to an Eora, in Eora, to worry. A pity. They're only trying to save their children. Isn't there room for both? He snorts. In 200 years, Defiance Bay and New Hermar have outgrown their own crooked cobblestones. They rupture and reek like bloated corpses. No, inviting them into our lands would be the end of us. In my 250 years, I've led my people through 2 wars. Our borders have remained intact, and largely through the reputation of the Thaos Delgar. His voice drops to a growl. I've sirened a dozen children, but none have been deemed fit to make my place. I care nothing for the legacies of that obsessed the Estermorn lords, but it is important that my successor continue his path. Is your role hereditary? Not entirely. We believe that souls of our ancestors come back to us, that a strong soul may bear many more, but all souls must be tested by our elders. The war looked first amongst our children for a successor, but their souls were weak. Ordinarily, they would turn to others in my tribe, to clan heads and their families. Ordinarily, he levels his gaze, but we share a tradition of fostering the children of other tribes, and the Amathaf of Fisher Crane have trusted his youngest to my care. He grimaces. And as none of my own blood are fit to take my place, the role would look next to this bog children, the king of another Aphamoth, and my foster daughter to take my place. We should be so lucky, Avarius chips. This young Fisher Crane lass is a great gift. You should be thankful. Avarius' voice becomes a low whisper, especially given your familiar feebleness. Couldn't you just send her back to her family? He shakes his head slowly. That would be a grave insult to the Fisher Crane. The repercussions with the other Affafaf would be severe. I have no doubt that she would make a fine leader, but not amongst the Tuskelgar. The Orlins of Fisher Crane has lived in Thein Bog for 1,000 years. They are cunning and furtive by nature, but serves them well when they have swamp lands to hide their movements. He crosses his arms, but this is this will not deter the Esterworn on open ground. My experience, as soon as someone empowered decides he wants something that doesn't belong to him, there's no deterring at all. He points at the warriors gathered near the fire. Our savagery has deterred the Esterworn from future encroachment. They still tell of our deeds in the Broken Stone War, but if a child of Fisher Crane leads our tribe, we will lose that boldness, and the Esterworn would lose their fear of us. The child will be influenced by the souls of her ancestors. In times of crisis, she will look to her kin in the Thein Bog for guidance. No matter what I might try to teach her, it will not be enough. He considers you. There's a way you could help. If you could steel your soft heart to do something difficult but necessary. Go on. This Orlin girl has the soul of a leader. If we were passed to one of our own offspring, our tribe would remain strong. The Stilgar at Simoc's side scratches his massive head to Athamon's leg. He remains steady on his feet. The druids of bloodstands have a way to do this, and they understand the importance of a strong line of succession. for the three-tusked Stelgar. Idea rubs the bridge of his nose. He rattles his head as to clear cobwebs. So all we have to do is steal a baby's soul. What's the catch? There's a house in southeast Helsong next to the river. The child will be asleep, and I've arranged for her to be unattended for a time. Well, his voice becomes a quiet rumble. Take her and bring her to the Keeper Whale and Bledha. She knows what must be done. When she prevents you with the liquid essence, bring it back to me. You think I could deceive them? What's with Keeper Wilder, children? His scared face twists again. Have you seen the rituals of Bledha? She will sacrifice her. It is the only way to distill her essence. Be easier to kill this fella and distill his essence. The Orland child, go on. How can you possibly expect to get away with this? If you know the girl is here, and one Arlen babe will look much the same as the next. Let me worry about that. Tell me about the potion. Essence bound and distilled into a liquid. It will have a little immediate effect on me, but it will wave a stronger soul in my future issue. You'd think I could deceive them. Let's see why you need me to do this, because I cannot do it without attracting undue attention. I don't relish passing my own burdens on to another, but this will incite war between our tribes if I'm caught. Okay, I'm going to go on the assumption that I can deceive them. Because like I say, I don't believe the sacrifice and the souls things is a particularly nice thing, so if I can stop that, I'm going to try. You're a friend to the Grafan people. Act swiftly and quietly, Estamor. Yeah, I've already spoke about that one, so... tell me about the boldest and fiercest of the 6 great tribes of Arthwn. It was we who first defended against the Erstaworn who came to shore 200 years ago. He raises his chin. We have always been the border tribe, and it has always fallen to us to hold the line against outsiders and invaders. Bavarius leans in with a whispered voice. The way they keep mentioning battles of old, you think they are the three-tusked martyr tribe. They are indeed fierce, and their history is rife with glorious deeds. I sometimes think they'll fight the other tribes if they didn't have trespassers to hunt. Yeah, what do you do here? An aftermath of the three-tusked Stelgar, I guide our tribe in all matters. He looks to the main room of the hut, where others have gathered. I am the twin elms to confer with some of the other Afafaf about the Onothin, your Hollowborn. Yes, the Hollowborn. We only have such births here on occasions, but it has made us more vigilant about our neighbours. There are some of us who believe your Arthwn to be a punishment for the defilement of the builder sites. Others say it's a plague carried by the Erstaworn. People make it what they want it to be, and when it ends, if it ends, they'll make up reasons for that too. Yeah, I think they will. Okay, like I said, I'm going to have a different save. Lliras, a young woman approaches you with a swift and purposeful stride. Why you never met him before? He has the same stern, wild look as Simoc. He doesn't speak until he's right next to you. When he does, his voice is quiet. Wait, I saw you speaking with my father. What's this about? He glances back at the room with Simoc. He's asked you to sacrifice Svella, hasn't he? He grits his teeth. Maybe he's right about the three-tusked Stelgar growing weak. But if this is the price of strength, it isn't worth it. As tribes have survived this long because we stuck together. Did he just... Avarius looks at you with a puzzled expression across his face. Did a three-tusked Stelgar say something wise? I do indeed live in strange times. Do you have another idea? He frowns. There's a herbalist among the ovates of the Golden Grove. Bledha, that's the name. They all gather southeast of here, by the river. She could brew a poison. Simoc wouldn't know the difference until it's too late. There's a family resemblance, yeah. There's an easier way to kill Simoc, you know. Yeah, why don't they just return the child? Well, we kind of know why they would want to do that, but it's complicated. A child sent to be fostered by another tribe isn't allowed to return. Unfortunately, explaining that way of shielding her from my father would make matters much worse for both tribes. You want me to murder your father? Nope, but it's better than allowing him to murder his child. If Simoc dies, you'll be next in line. It's not like that. The Ruhr have already determined that my soul isn't strong enough. Whoever follows my father, it won't be me. Fine, I'll poison your father. If I can stop this, why not, eh? With another glance at Simoc's chamber, he backs toward the door. Like I said, you'll find Bledha in the Golden Grove. Good luck.